Hey everyone, Harris O'Malley from DrNerdLove.com. This week, I want to talk about how to jumpstart your social skills and start making your way to social badassery. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make is that they assume that social success is a binary. Either you're good with girls or you aren't, and there is not a damn thing you can do about it. If you're one of those lucky bastards who has a natural talent for connecting with people, then hey, you're golden. But if you're shy or awkward or you don't have much social experience, well, then you're out of luck. But the good news is that's not true. The thing about social skills is that they're skills. Dating, being more successful with women, even just being more socially fluent and calibrated is a skill that you can practice. And if you can practice it, you can get better at it. Now, when we think about learning or picking up a skill, the first thing we tend to think of is, how long is this going to take? We've seen all the cliches about 10,000 hours to mastery, and we think, my God, this is going to take forever. This is especially true when it comes to getting better at dating because, quite honestly, we all want to be good yesterday. The problem is that most of the time we think about practice the wrong way. When we think about practicing social skills, especially when related to dating, we think of it as getting dressed up and going to bars and clubs and doing dozens of cold approaches every night. Now, this is an important way to practice, but it's incredibly inefficient on its own. It's kind of like trying to drive without ever leaving first gear. You'll get where you're going eventually, but it'll take you forever. There is a much better way. By breaking things down and practicing those skills individually and integrating that practice into your day-to-day life. After all, the same skills that let you flirt with people at the bar are the same ones that help you talk with your coworkers and your classmates. The only difference between approaching a stranger in the club and making small talk with a stranger in line at Starbucks is what you're hoping to get out of it. So, here are 5 ways that you can practice your social skills every day and level up your dating life. Number 1. You are going to practice making eye contact. This sounds a little weird at first, but eye contact is one of the most powerful and important tools you have for connecting with people. Eye contact can be inviting or intimidating. If you use it the right way, you create a powerful connection. Use it the wrong way, and you send the message that you're bored, that you're nervous, untrustworthy, or that you want to lick the inside of their ribcage. So, you want to practice making eye contact, and you start with yourself. You want to face a mirror and look directly into your own eyes. Now, this is surprisingly hard to do. You're gonna feel uncomfortable. You're gonna want to look away. You need to resist this impulse. And don't do things to make it easier, like letting your eyes go out of focus or just looking at the bridge of your nose. The discomfort is part of the point. You want to get used to it and familiar with it so that it doesn't bother you. Look in your eyes for as long as you can, and then break eye contact by looking to the side. Then, after a minute or so, do it again. The more comfortable you become meeting your own eyes, the easier it becomes to make consistent eye contact with other people. Now, as you get used to making eye contact with yourself, you can start practicing strategic eye contact. Notice how long it takes for you to start feeling uncomfortable, then practice breaking eye contact 1 second before or 1 second after. Make eye contact, look away, look back, and give that slow smile. There are lots of ways you can practice this without a mirror as well. When you're watching TV or YouTube videos, practice making eye contact with different characters, especially when they're looking in the camera. See if you can make a point of observing what color their eyes are before you look away. Now, like I said, this is going to feel really weird and unnatural, but what it will do is make you more aware of what you're doing with your eyes and your face. The more aware you are and the more comfortable that you get, the more that you'll be able to learn how to give the vibe that you want. That you're cool, even a little sexy, and worth getting to know. Number 2, you want to practice reading other people's signals. This is incredibly important. A lot of the ways that we show our emotional state, or our interest for that matter, is through gestures and facial expression and body language. When you have a hard time reading those signals, you end up missing a lot of important information. And not just when people are creeped out or uncomfortable, but when they're into you too. A lot of people don't have a natural natural or well-calibrated ability to read nonverbal signals, but you can learn, especially by observing others. The tricky part is how to compare what they're actually saying versus what you think that they're saying. I mean, after all, you can't really go up to strangers that you've been observing and saying, hey, just out of curiosity, were you hitting on him? It looked like you were hitting on him. Were you hitting on him? But you do have a resource for observing many different people in many different situations and learning how to pick up on their signals. TV and movies. Yes, I've gone off about how movies teach us the wrong lessons when it comes to relationships, but studying great actors can teach you a lot about how to read the room. After all, body language and nonverbal communication needs to match with the intent of the script. Otherwise, we end up with situations where it's a good thing the script told us that these two characters are in love, because you sure as hell can't tell from the way that they act. So, take various movies and TV shows, especially ones that you haven't seen before, and watch different scenes with the sound off. And as you're watching two characters interact, ask yourself, how do these characters feel about each other? What are they trying to convey to one another? And what is it that they're doing that makes you think that? Then, go back and watch the scene again with the sound on and compare your interpretation with how it plays out. After you've done that, run through it a couple more times. See what you pick up on the second or third or even fourth time through. Just be careful to not only do this with rom-coms or with love scenes. You want to use different kinds of scenes from all different genres of shows or movies. And if you're not sure where to start, work your way through IMDb's top 100 movies of all time. This is a great way to start developing your gut sense of how to read the room. And if you want to take that to the next level, there are a lot of ways that women will send signals to someone that they're into, and I'm working on an episode specifically about this, so be sure to subscribe to make sure that you don't miss it when it drops. But while we're on the subject, let's talk about another way of learning nonverbal communication. Just as we communicate with our eyes and our faces and our posture, we also communicate with things like touch or the way that we move. The more that we can learn to send the right signals with our bodies and pick up on the signals that others are sending, the more socially successful we can be. This is why tip number 3 for building your social skills is to learn how to dance. Specifically, you want to learn a form of partnered social dancing. So something like swing, Latin, or ballroom dancing. Dances with a certain amount of structure. Social dancing requires that you and your partner need to be in tune with one another, acting and reacting in response to signals that you send through touch and motion and the way that you change your weight and the way that you move. After all, if you're going to be doing an underarm turn and you don't send that message clearly to your partner, the two of you are going to get tangled up and stumble all over each other. Learning how to dance teaches you how to be more in control of your body and how to communicate clearly with someone non-verbally, even someone you've only just met. It helps you be at ease with casual touch and how to use touch to send a clear message. Plus, group classes mean that you're going to be dancing with a lot of different people. This helps teach you to relax and to just engage with folks that you've only just met in a low stakes and really easygoing environment. And as a bonus, knowing how to dance means that you've got an option for awesome dates that a lot of other dudes don't. Trust me, women love a guy who can dance. Number 4, you are going to record yourself having practice conversations. This is something that a lot of actors do when they're working on performances. Much like practicing making eye contact, this is all about developing awareness. You are going to start becoming more aware of how you appear to others when you're talking. So use your laptop, your tablet, or your webcam to record a video of yourself having a conversation, as though the camera were the other person you were talking to. You can rehash old conversations you've had, practice ones you'll be having in the future, or just straight up invent ones that you want to have. It just needs to feel as natural as you can possibly make it. Record your conversation for about 5 minutes or so, then stop and watch the video. Now, not gonna lie here, this is going to be really uncomfortable. For the first time, you are going to be incredibly aware of how you're coming across to other people. You're going to see all the times that you start speaking too quickly, or all those nervous tics, or the way that you touched your face, or the way that you laughed at random moments. And honestly, you're going to end up feeling more insecure and self-conscious than you were before. But This is actually a good thing, because until you start being aware of those little idiosyncrasies, you can't really change them. Now, speaking for myself, I used to be really bad about maintaining eye contact. I'd do a thing where I chase my thoughts around the room with my eyes as I talk. You can see my eyes bounce all over the place. I still do it when I get worked up on a topic. But until I became aware that I was doing this, I couldn't learn how to get it under control. So, just notice all these little things that you do, then record another conversation and see how much you notice them in the moment. And as you are aware of them, work on correcting them. Don't worry if you can't do it smoothly at first. This is why you practice. As you practice and you get more in tune with yourself, see about getting a friend to sit on the other side of the camera and just have a conversation about anything. Having another person involved adds a new layer to your practice, and it helps make everything smoother. Remember, the more aware you are of yourself, the better able you are to practice and to build control. And the more that you practice, the more that you commit to muscle memory, the more natural it becomes. Tip number 5. You are going to practice making small talk. Yeah, I know. A lot of you hate small talk, but it's an important skill to develop. Part of why many people have a hard time flirting with someone that they're interested in is because they don't feel comfortable talking with someone they don't know or that they only barely know. So, by practicing making small talk and doing low-key, low-investment approaches, you start to build the ability to talk to just about anyone. Start by approaching someone and asking for something very simple. Hey, do you have the time? Hey, is there an ATM around here? Is there a Starbucks nearby? Can I get a light? They tell you, they light your cigarette, you say thanks, you move on, and you try again with someone else. As you get more comfortable making these quick approaches, start adding to it. Pretend to be a tourist in your own city and ask strangers for directions or recommendations. Hey, do you know how to get to Mr. Noodle from here? Are you local? I'm in town over the weekend and I need to find a place for dinner. Do you know a good Thai place around here? Keep in mind, you're not trying to trick people. All you're doing is just getting used to approaching strangers. Each time, as you get more used to making these low-key approaches, vary it up. Instead of asking for directions or recommendations, start practicing various conversational openers, especially in places where you hang out fairly regularly. Hey, that's an awesome tattoo. Did you get that done locally? Man, I haven't heard this song since I was in high school. That local sports team, huh? Don't worry about getting too deep into any particular topic. You're not trying to make a new BFF. All you want to do is just have a couple of good back and forths and then say, thanks, and go about the rest of your day. These small, incremental challenges really help break down the idea that meeting people is hard or intimidating. By practicing striking up conversations with strangers during your day-to-day life and working on these social skills, you are developing the skills that mean that you will be ready to approach that special someone when it really counts. Hey, thanks for checking out my latest video. So, you've heard from me, and now I want to hear from you. Tell me about your success story. How have you improved your social skills? I want to hear all about it, so be sure to share your story in the comments. And hey, if you have a short dating question or a topic you'd like to hear more about on here, let me know. Hit me up. You can share that in the comments as well, or send that to me at doc@drnerdlove.com for YouTube in the subject header. Meanwhile, if you want to know more about working on your social skills and getting better at dating, then check out my book, New Game Plus, The Geek's Guide to Love, Sex, and Dating. It's the dating instruction manual that we all wish we had. Links to buy it and all my other books are in the show notes below, so check them out. And if you do check them out, be sure to rate and review them on Amazon or Goodreads. It's a huge help. Now, if you're digging the series, then you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and let me know. Be sure to share it around with all your friends. If you are really enjoying these videos, if you are finding that you're getting a lot out and this is really helping you, then consider supporting the channel by becoming a patron at patreon.com/drnerdlove. Even $1 is a huge help, and as I'm always saying, I can't do this without the support of my patrons. So, thank you all so very much. Meanwhile, you can follow me on Twitter at drnerdlove. Join the Facebook page at facebook.com/drnerdlove. And as always, hit that logo to subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will see you here next time with more about love, sex, and dating. Later.